As everyone knows, the title of the event today is Nonprofits and Technology Giants, Essential Tools, Grants, and Services for Nonprofit Leaders. I also want to welcome our guests. I mean, it's, again, absolutely incredible. This event gets bigger and bigger each year. And we actually are close to having 90 guests here. All from the not-for-profit world, either leaders in their organizations or board members in their organizations, and so I welcome all of you. For those who have not been to one of our meetings before, I want to give a few points about the NBN and let people know more about our organization. So the NBN stands for Metropolitan Business Network. We've been around for 35 years. And definitely one of New York City's top, most prestigious networking organizations out there. We're comprised of a select group of business leaders that represent a cross-section of New York City's industries. Each member holds a spot in the group, and there's nobody that competes with them. Probably what's most important, or one of the most important aspects of the group, is that each of us competed very hard to get into the room, so you have to be invited. You then compete against other people in your industry, go through a rigorous presentations and interview process and references and background checks and everything you can imagine to finally get into our group. And the two aspects that people need to have when they're a member of the group is you need to be top of your field, so you have to be really just a real leader in your industry. And you have to be successful individuals and companies who then turn around and can have many relationships that they can bring to the group. So that's what each member has. So when you think about that, that's pretty interesting to be able to work or partner with one of our groups as a not-for-profit to hire one of the groups that are here, because you're not only getting people at the top of their game, but you're also getting people that are very well connected. So what does that bring to not-for-profits? It brings the potential for fundraising, the potential for fund development, the potential for board development. I mean, you name it. So that's what you're partnering when you work with a group in this room. Our motto is build relationships, build business, and we passionately all believe in that, and I'm sure everyone in the room feels the same way. So we're going to go through our membership book later in the meeting, but I look for all of you to reach out to the groups that are in the room and meet with them. It won't be a waste of time, even if you have someone that you work with in that area. So again, we'll hear more from that later on. I want to thank our not-for-profit committee led by Perry Davis, who's the chair of it. We have Perry Davis, Jeff Ledette, Ellen Rothschild, Michael Lenton, Laurie Pupak, Avery Fuchs. Thank you all. Did a great job. So I'd like to turn it over to the chair of our not-for-profit group, Perry Davis.
Good morning, right on time. Thank you, Mark, for that brief but useful presentation about NBN. I want to add two thank yous to the ones that Mark indicated. We could not have done it without them. Kara Forrestal of my staff, who's done a phenomenal job in preparing this, and of course Debbie Lindner, who's made everything happen and always does, and please thank all of us, join us thanking. But I want to say just a word in introduction and thank all of my NBN members for a couple of things. Can you imagine if there were 35,000 less nonprofits in New York City? There are 35,000 registered nonprofits in the city. Can you imagine the wasteland this city would be if we didn't have those organizations here? Arts, culture, social services, caring for the poor, caring for the sick, all of those things gone. It's the nonprofit industry that does that, and we respect that. And what NBN does, this is just one example of how NBN gives back. This is a non-cost event. Nobody paid anything to come here this morning. And this is a 5-figure contribution by the organization as one of many contributions that the NBN makes as an organization and makes individually. So my thanks to the NBN for this contribution to a very worthy industry in New York, nonprofit work. And a thank you on a personal basis, because I get approached as an organization that works only with nonprofits and development by members who come to me, members of MBN who come to me and say, give us some advice. I want to give out some successful money I've made and help me do it. I want to join a board. I want to volunteer. It's one of the most gratifying things to have you guys come and ask us for help. We're always there for you. We always will be. So I want to thank you for that and for that culture of giving that pervades the organization. So you all know what the topic is, tools and grants from technology giants. We've got a great panel for you. And what I'd like to do is just introduce the panel. You know what? Why don't the three members of the panel come and join us now, and we'll start right away. I know that by the time everybody leaves today, you'll be excited to apply the lessons you have gotten. You're going to learn stuff, you're going to pick up ideas, you're going to have new ways of impacting your bottom line, and for the nonprofit world, that's what counts. Thank you very much, folks. Let me begin with the introductions. To the far right is Andrea Taylor. Andrea Taylor has been with Microsoft for over 8 years and is the Director of North American Citizenship and Public Affairs. Before she joined Microsoft, Andrea was at the Council on Foundations and an adjunct faculty member at Harvard Graduate School of Education. She's also worked at the Education Development Center, served as president of the Benton Foundation, and director of media programs at the Ford Foundation. In her lay life, she is a trustee of Boston University, Lincoln Institute of Land Policy, New York Public Radio, and the Public Good Projects. We have some guests from Public Radio here today. She also sits on the advisory boards of the Joan Gans Cooney Center at Sesame Workshop, a former client of ours, by the way, the Committee Encouraging Corporate Philanthropy, Council on Foundations Corporate Committee, and the Conference Board's Corporate Committee. Heidi Connell. Heidi is the Vice President of Customer Success for the Salesforce Foundation and leads the strategic vision to help the company's 22,000 foundation customers achieve success. Her team is focused on providing Salesforce implementation, adoption, usage, and center of excellence best practices to all customers. Heidi has more than 20 years of experience in business development and technology strategic consulting. She holds an MBA from the NYU Stern School of Business and a bachelor's degree from the University of Virginia. When she's not passionately evangelizing technology success for nonprofits, she can be usually found underwater diving with extremely big fish, we're told. And by the way, Heidi, as you might guess, there are a lot of people in this room who are used to diving and trying to catch very big fish. So you're really at home.
Well played.
Andrew Goldsmith is Enterprise Sales Manager, Eastern Region Canada for LinkedIn. Andrew has been a sales leader in the tech industry for 10 years, has spent time with Yahoo, Monster.com, and now LinkedIn. Andrew aspires to surround himself with self-motivated individuals who share a mutual goal of applying their talent with their heart in order to achieve amazing results. He's happy to say he's proud of what he accomplishes on a daily basis and believes passionately in what LinkedIn is building. In his lay leadership life, he is involved with Tuesday's Children, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and is passionate in supporting our veterans. We'll have 10-minute presentations and then a Q from each of the individuals. Q&A session after that. I'm not going to do any further introductions. We should be left over with a lot of time for networking and introductions as well. The order we're going to do, it'll be Heidi, Andrew, and Andrea, and ready to go.
Excellent. Good morning. Good morning. I know, I've had 2 cups of coffee already, so I'm excited. Curious in the room, how many of you are nonprofits? Raise your hand if you're a nonprofit. Excellent. And keep your hand up if you are a recipient of any of the grants or products of any of us on at the table. So Microsoft, LinkedIn, or Salesforce. Interesting. I was expecting a lot more hands to be raised, weren't you guys?
They're going to learn something.
You guys are all going to learn something today.
Boy, oh boy.
All right, great. So I am Heidi Connell, as Perry so kindly introduced. I am with the Salesforce Foundation. I have the best job on the planet, so we'll talk a bit about that. How many of you have no idea what Salesforce is? You can raise your hand. It's okay. It's okay. Also, less hands than I expected, but that's all right. We'll go with that. All right, so I will talk about Salesforce One for nonprofits and how most nonprofits use us today. This is my contact information. I can already tell you I did not bring enough cards. So I'll come back to this so you can all take photos of it. But you can also, I'll give you some links as well at the end so that you can use if you are interested in working with Salesforce.
We're posting everything on our website.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry about writing anything, and you'll get all this information later. All right, so this is my safe harbor statement, which legally I have to say. We are a publicly traded company. Don't make any buying decisions based on any forward mentioned topics, because Salesforce, we like to talk about what's next. Salesforce is a technology platform. It is a cloud-based solution. It was started 15 years ago by Mark Benioff in a little apartment in San Francisco, where he said, I want to build a CRM, customer relationship management tool, that does not require you to install it on your laptop, so completely cloud-based. In 1999, this was innovative. This was different. Everybody was installing SAP and Oracle and things that have to be on your laptop. So we have now become a very, very large and amazing company. We're one of the best companies to work for. Some of the most admired companies. We keep being the most innovative company, according to Gartner and Forbes. So lots of great things. What Mark also did 15 years ago was he said, before he's even profitable, I am going to create a foundation. I am going to make sure that 1% of my time, 1% of my employee time, 1% of my product, and 1% of my company equity goes into this foundation, and it's solely dedicated to nonprofits. So we'll talk about that as well. Just to recap what a cloud-based solution is, and this is not a difficult topic anymore, although 5 years ago it still was kind of innovative and different. But the idea is that it's fast, you have no hardware, you have no software, it's easy because you don't need to upgrade, we upgrade for you. Any device, so once you sign up for Salesforce, you can get it on your computer, on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your BlackBerry, on your Android. It's everywhere. It's flexible because we have a lot. If you think about it, Salesforce is a platform in which you can. It's like the iPhone. You know how you go out and get apps for your iPhone? Salesforce is the same way. So we have a lot of vendors who build apps that sit on Salesforce that do even more and very specialized. And it's trusted. I mean, if you think about it, we are maintaining your data and your business and all of the critical information for your business or your nonprofit. So you have to trust that we're not going to fail you, which we've done pretty good. All right, so the 1-1-1 model and the Salesforce Foundation. This concept of 1-1-1, you can see down here, we've been adopted by a lot of different companies as well who have begun to see the value of adopting this model, giving 1% of employee time, 1% equity, and 1% of product. If you are a nonprofit, you get 10 Salesforce licenses for free off the bat. All you do is provide your 501c3 letter, and you're done. 10 free licenses. We are completely cause agnostic. If you're a 501c3, you get Salesforce for free. I often tell people that Salesforce is free like a puppy. It's not a really super I mean, it's an easy tool to use, but it does require to be walked and watered and pet and loved. And sometimes there are vet bills, depending on how you're going to use the puppy. So it's not, I do have a lot of nonprofits that sign up for their 10 free licenses and don't use it because they get in and they think, I have no idea what more to do with this. So most of our nonprofits are successful when they bring in a partner to help them, or if you have a powerful IT network with you. But we'll talk about that too. But you can see some of that. We help 22,000 nonprofits. We give $65 million in grants, and we have, from our employee hours, 620 million hours that are dedicated on an ongoing basis. So nonprofits who use us, what do they use us for? And these are just a few of the examples of nonprofits that find success on the Salesforce platform today. 84% say it helps them achieve their mission. And 86% see an improvement over their overall efficiency because you can go end to end with Salesforce if you are willing to take responsibility for the puppy. The reason why this is not at 100% is because sometimes it really is really difficult. It is sometimes a difficult enterprise software to use. But what if your organization could be connected anytime, anywhere? How would you use Salesforce? Salesforce One for nonprofits is essentially a way for you to manage your program, so case management, program management, call centers, advocacy, policy tracking, grant portfolios, community engagement. So if you want a way to bring together your community members, whether they are alumni, volunteers, donors, affiliates, partners. Marketing, so there's a lot we can offer with ExactTarget and some of the email outreach, so different multi-channel marketing, email marketing, campaigns, event management, and then fundraising. This is what most of my 22,000 nonprofits use us for. So donor management and event management, volunteers and grants. So it is a CRM tool. You put all of your volunteers in there and you've got them all in one place. Put all of your donors in there and you begin to track and you start to see that 360-degree view around Heidi Connell and all of her billions of dollars. Not really. This is the slide that you'll want to refer to later when it's posted for you all or sent out for you all. This is where you can go to become a connected nonprofit. So salesforcefoundation.org is where everything is. We have 3 things you'll be interested in. The Power of Us program are your 10 free licenses. And so you go to salesforcefoundation.org, /power of us. You'll get discounts on additional products and training and events like our annual Dreamforce convention out in San Francisco. Have anybody, raise your hand if you've been to Dreamforce? All right, I've got my work cut out for me. It's 140,000 people descending on Salesforce and talking all about success models for Salesforce users. We always have an entire floor dedicated to nonprofit, so we call it the Foundation Zone, and it is the largest nonprofit technology conference in the country, possibly in the world. I have to find that out actually. But we have 4,000 nonprofits there last year, and they're all just talking about different use cases and how to collaborate together. And you also have access to the Power of Us community. So this is where our Salesforce nonprofits gather to talk about best practices for Salesforce and help solve each other's problems. It's kind of an extraordinary thing to see. The grants program, we have 2 areas where we give grants. One is the Force for Change program. So this is where we do development, specifically if we have a nonprofit that is developing a scalable technology on the Salesforce platform that helps to benefit the world or communities in different ways. So we have a lot of different grants that we've given over the years. It is an annual process. We're about to open it this year, and it's a pretty great. It's great because we can give millions of dollars to nonprofits to develop some pretty cool solutions. Like Polaris, for example, has developed with our grant a sex trafficking app so that if you see some instance of sex trafficking, you can log it. It fires off this whole Salesforce process that rallies local police officers to come and rescue that person. So that's the kind of scalable technology we're looking to build. There's also the Power of Us San Francisco. So because we are based in San Francisco, we have we're doing a lot to build the community. So there's a lot of community development there, and we give a lot of grants if you are Salesforce based or San Francisco based. Salesforce Pro Bono, I have 14,000 employees who want to help in any way that they can. So if you are a Salesforce user and if you need some help, we have a whole pro bono program where our employees give back to help you be successful on Salesforce any way that they can. So this is our program, and I think, how am I doing with time?
Terrific.
Terrific, I'm great. All right, so if you have any questions, we'll be around, and we're doing Q&A, and thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
How many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Sweet. All right. A couple of years ago, that number was about half, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But glad everyone is familiar with the site to a good degree with having a profile. How much you use it, I won't ask that question, or how much messages you're getting that you don't want to be getting, or delete. You could change your settings. That's another conversation, though. But my name is Andrew Goldsmith. I'm a sales leader with LinkedIn. I've been with the organization for about 3 years now. It's been an unbelievable ride. Our organization wants to be a strategic partner for nonprofits. It's something that we're aspiring to doing. As we're growing and getting to the size of such Salesforce and Microsoft, who are doing amazing things, we aspire to be in the same realm as those organizations and look forward to a large partnership with everyone in this room in the future. I'm honored to be here today. Nonprofit is not my world. I'm getting more into it as I get more familiar with all the great things we're doing within LinkedIn. I did a lot of research, and I'm excited to share a lot of what I'm hopeful is new news and great offerings for everyone in the room today. So what is LinkedIn? I don't think I have to get into that answer, do a deep dive on the answer, because we have a good room of our membership here today. But at a super high level, largest professional network in the world. We have over 300 million members worldwide. growing extremely quickly, 2 members per second. So by the time my 10-minute presentation is done, we will have added 1,200 members to our network. Some specific stats that are relevant to the audience here today. We have currently 6 million members who work at current nonprofits today. That number is growing considerably quickly as well. And we have 22 million of our members following their favorite nonprofits that are raising their hand and looking to hear information about what your organization is doing. Thank you. So by 10 a.m., 10 minutes, I'm going to look to accomplish 3 goals. I want to share the special offering we provide for 501c3 organizations, most of you in the room today. I want you to learn how to find extraordinary talent that's willing to volunteer for your organization or potentially serve on your boards. And I want to make sure everyone feels empowered to take advantage of the 1 free posting for LinkedIn volunteers or board members. So the first thing I want to talk about, your organization's talent. Talent Solutions is the largest business unit inside of LinkedIn. What we're looking to do is connect employees with opportunity at massive scale. It's the largest business unit, as I said, and what we want to do is match the employees with the best employers for them and match employers with the best talent in the world. I'd like to cover a little bit about, like I said, the 501c3 offering for nonprofits today. So what our mission is, and we understand obviously in the nonprofit world, cost is a major factor, budgets are tight. We want to make sure that we can provide the best tools for your organization to ultimately hire the best talent in the world. So how are we going to do that? We have an initiative in place that's been in place for about 2 years now. Some of you might be customers already that are using our network and platform to find the best talent. Our offering is a 50% discount on our flagship products, almost all of them, including Recruiter, Job Slots, Career Pages, and Work With Us ads. And basically what it allows you to do is, those types of solutions allow you to proactively contact all 300+ million members of our network, allows you to post specific opportunities on working a full-time employee or part-time employee for your organization, allows you to brand your employer, your organization as a employer of choice. Why would someone want to come work for your nonprofit organization? Tell your story. Sell your organization, and use your employees as brand ambassadors. I put a name up here. Forrest Jordan is a nonprofit specialist out in San Francisco. If you're interested in learning more about the opportunity to take advantage of the 501c3 discount, please email Forrest below. Wanted to now talk about 2 success stories very quickly about colleagues and peers in the nonprofit industry. First, we're going to talk about Terrence. Terrence is the Director of Employee and Labor Relations at the for talent acquisition at the New York Public Library. Terrence is using our network. Some of you might be familiar with the term passive candidates. We have an unbelievable network of passive candidates. We say that 80% of our overall audience is passive. That means they're currently employed in their roles. They might not actively be seeking out a new opportunity, but they'd be very willing to hear from you about opportunities to come join your organizations. Again, this isn't a full-time matter. So what Terrence has done, and I'm going to put a quote up here, we'll run through this quickly, is he's used LinkedIn to find types of positions and fill roles inside the New York Public Library of candidates that he was never able to find with other resources. It's part of what has made us successful as an overall organization, the vast scope of our network, who we have as members, and that, as I said, is continuing to grow on a day-to-day basis. Second person I want to highlight is Karen Maher. Karen works for the Jewish Federations of North America. Karen is a talent acquisition executive as well. So Karen is using our network to, and she's utilizing our flagship product, as I mentioned, Recruiter. So she's able to build a pipeline of candidates that she could look to fill for a number of different roles throughout the organization. And it allows her to contact all 300 million plus members. Not at the same time, but you have the ability to reach out to anyone, and she's having great success with that as well. So here's a quick quote from Karen. So I want to transition right now. I just focused on talent and how we're going to bring people into work for your organization, both as a full-time or a part-time employee. I want to transition now to something that was just launched in November of 2013. This is when I said I did a lot of research and became familiar with, and I think that I now owe it to the rest of my organization to make sure everyone is aware of this, because there's some amazing stuff that we're doing. And it's called the LinkedIn Volunteer Marketplace. So as of November 2013, we added to everyone's profile, and if you're not aware of this, be sure to get back and update your profile as well. That allows them to opt into volunteering both for social activities or for pro bono professional work. inside your organization or potentially serve as board members. So our members are going on their profiles, they're indicating the causes and services they would love to get involved in, and they're all raising their hand and they want to hear from everyone in this room. So just within the last 9 months, we have 1.2 million members in the United States that have opted in to hear from everyone in this room and from all the nonprofits not here today. And for those nonprofits in the room that are specifically focused in New York, we've already added 195,000 members just in the New York region. And what the volunteer marketplace allows you to do, and just a little bit of more of a deep dive and paint more of a contextual picture for everyone. I mentioned individuals can volunteer to participate in events or social activities, but again, these are pro bono professionals. Anyone in this room could do this as well. You could find a marketing expert, you could find an HR expert, an architect to help expand sites. These individuals want to come work for our organizations and help advance your causes. So these people are there. And I just mentioned, the reality is we have 1.2 million members in the U.S. right now who want to hear from you. At any given time, we've only had up to 2,000 opportunities posted on the volunteer marketplace. So we have a big gap. And call to action for everyone today is to take advantage. But don't worry, we're going to help you. So I'm excited to announce to everyone in the room, we're going to get everyone kick-started with the volunteer marketplace and offer everybody one free job posting to get onto the volunteer marketplace to start attracting volunteers to participate in your organization, those to do pro bono work, and also I'll speak a little bit quickly about how we can help you find board members using our tools as well. So simply email volunteermarketplace@linkedin.com, include New York in the subject line, and one of our nonprofit specialists will return your email, give you instructions on how to move forward and get your opportunity listed on the site as soon as possible. Wanted to call out this site quickly as well. This is where you're going to be directed to get your opportunity posted. This is a microsite, really newly completed. We've added a lot of great resources and allows you to get a deep dive into all the great things we're doing at LinkedIn. You'll be able to post your opportunities here, as I mentioned, and sign up for the webinars to attract board members as well, which I'm going to cover in a second. So, 10-minute speech, I'm giving everybody 5 action items. But good news is they're almost all free, okay? So when you get back to your desk, get on LinkedIn. Almost all of you are members. Check out your organization's presence on the site. Make sure it's selling your organization is a great place to work. Share all the great things that you're doing as an organization as well. Second item is to contact Forrest Jordan, as I mentioned earlier, to learn more about our Talent Solutions offerings. Third thing, email the volunteer marketplace on LinkedIn. With New York in the subject line to take advantage of the free job posting we're going to offer to everybody in the audience today. And then the fourth thing, which I'll touch on quickly, is join our Board Member Connect program. So this site right here, LinkedIn for Nonprofits, visit this site, sign up for a brief webinar, get trained on the solution on how to reach out and start attracting potential board members for your organization. Receive free access to a premium account on LinkedIn, which gives you a lot more feature and functionality than your normal membership. And you'll have a premium account for 5 years to target board members for your organization. So please take advantage of that as well. And then the fifth thing, this is just a personal note. If you haven't done so already, I'm sure most of you have, but get into your LinkedIn profile, list your volunteer activities, and all the causes you care about. Let's continue to build the network and get more involved in a great thing that we're doing. So relevant picture to the day. We want to work as a team with everyone in the room. We want to celebrate your cause. We want to partner, become huge strategic partners with everyone in the room as we continue to grow as an organization and you grow as well. And we look forward to celebrating your success. So thank you.
Good morning. It's so nice to be here. Thank you to MBN for inviting me and for allowing us this opportunity to share in the platform with my colleagues in the industry and to give all of you a better sense of the resources that we have, the commitments that we have to your communities, and hopefully you can find resources here that will be helpful to you. As you heard from my LinkedIn bio that Perry presented, I am the Director of Citizenship and Public Affairs North America for Microsoft, and I'm based here in New York at our new 11 Times Square offices, which are right across the street from Port Authority and the New York Times. I'm sorry, though, Perry, that you didn't pick the most interesting thing, I think, about me in my bio, and that is that in 2009, I finished the New York City Marathon. How many New York City? At my age and stage, I'm very proud of that. How many marathoners are in the room? Not so many. I'm surprised. You should check it out. Anyway, what I would like to do today is really give you a sense of our programs in citizenship and public affairs, which is our philanthropic arm of the company, and focus particularly on our technology offerings and the work that we do in community from a grants and program point of view. But our overall work in the field in citizenship is really divided into 4 areas. We work on employee engagement. We have a disaster relief program. We also focus on our Youth Spark initiative, which I'll talk more about. And we have our Technology for Good, where we provide technology resources for nonprofit organizations. I don't think in this room or any other probably on the planet I have to give you any context for the philanthropy of Microsoft and our founder, Bill Gates. We like to talk about philanthropy as being in the DNA of the company, and we continue to grow and develop in that area. So the first area that I want to just mention quickly is our technology disaster relief program. And so whenever there is a disaster on the planet, we are usually there in some way to help provide communication and technology and support services. And we're a global company, so we are responding to these kinds of natural disasters all over the world all the time. Recently, just about a month or 2 ago, we released an app that I encourage all of you, no matter what platform you're working with, on your cell phone to go and look for the Help Bridge, one word, Help Bridge app, which allows you to communicate with family and friends during an emergency or during some kind of disaster. So if you pull down the app and you sign up, you can then have a way of communicating in an emergency to let people know that you're okay or you're not okay, where you are, what kind of help you need. And it's a free app, and I encourage you to, again, take advantage of that. That's just one example of what we're doing in the disaster relief area. In terms of employee engagement, we are very focused on encouraging our employees to be volunteers and to give their time, talent, and treasure. And we allow them to do that in many ways. So everybody at Microsoft can actually be a philanthropist. We give each and every employee in the U.S. a $15,000 match that they can match dollar for dollar. If they write a check for $15,000 to one or more organizations, we will match it $15,000. If they don't want to use all of the money for cash donations, they can get dollars for doers. So every one of our employees who volunteers can donate time, and for each hour we send a check for $17 an hour to the organization. So those of you who are nonprofits in the room, you may want to find our volunteers. We have about 1,400, 1,500 people in the greater New York area. So if they're working for you and working for us, then they can bring you that money as well as their expertise and their time and their energy. And so we're very proud of the fact that last year we were able, through our giving campaign and the match, to contribute about $110 million to 20,000 nonprofits across the U.S. And we reached a record number of volunteer hours as well. So we really value that contribution that our employees are able to make and encourage you all to take advantage of that. The third area that I want to mention is our Youth Spark program. And you see here on a slide talking about our initiative that was launched in September of 2012. Microsoft Youth Spark is a commitment on the part of the company that is global, and our target is to reach 300 million young people in the next 3 years to help them with the skills that they need to complete their education, to become employed and find jobs, and to also start new businesses. You may or may not know that we're in a youth bulge on the planet. There are about 1.2 billion young people between the ages of 16 and 24. That number is growing. and there is a very high rate of unemployment and a lack of a skills mismatch, a lack of skills that are needed for today's jobs and jobs of the future for young people. And so our commitment is to try to help these young people and empower them with the skills and the tools and the resources that they need. And so through this effort, we are also making our technology available. So we have the YouSpark grants that we make to organizations like Boys and Girls Club and City Year and Year Up and Junior Achievement, and the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. We have Office 365 for schools, Office 365 for EDU. We offer Skype in the classroom so that teachers and students and learning and experiences can be shared across the country and across the world. We have an Imagine Cup competition where young people compete all over the world. About 300,000 young people compete with the best entrepreneurial ideas and receive $100,000 cash grants and mentorship to bring their products and ideas to market. We have a Give for Youth site, which allows nonprofits to use our platform for crowdsourcing and raising funds for their organizations. So YouSpark is a very important initiative for us in the development of the next generation, which we realize, I think all of us, is very critical. They're facing a world full of challenges and also a world full of possibilities. So our theory of change is to put young people at the center of change and to support organizations that are helping young people and that give them a direct voice in the future that they must create for themselves with our help. We're just getting started. We started, as I said, in 2012. At the end of the first year, we reached over 103 million young people. We're about to end the second year of the program at the end of this month with the close of the fiscal year. We expect to be on track or slightly ahead of the 200 million that we need to reach, and then we will be working on this program again in FY15, and we hope to exceed our $300 million goal. Our model is also built on partnership, and so we partner with many of the organizations, for example, that Salesforce had on your slide that you're working with, and probably many of the organizations that all of you are volunteering for and with and supporting. And we're very proud of this program. We also have, I want to mention just some of the work that we do locally. We work with, there's another volunteer-driven, employee-driven organization that you may have heard of called TEALS, Technology, Education, and Literacy in Schools. And this was an effort that was started by one of our employees about 2.5 years ago, who was a programmer and realized that there was no computer science training in the schools pretty much across the country. And this is a skill that increasingly is important. Employers are looking for it, and it gives it's kind of the new literacy for the new generation. So this young man, Kevin Wang, started a program as a volunteer, and on his way to work, he would go into the Seattle Public Schools and teach computer science. The program has now, and he recruited his fellow employees to go in and do the teaching, because the reason that it's not in the schools is most teachers don't have the skill set. And it was a high-demand class. It was just tremendously successful. He's now sort of left his day job at Microsoft as a programmer and is devoting his full time to scaling this program, which will be in 30 states next year and is operating in New York City. And if any of you know computer programmers who are willing to volunteer their time, we still are operating it as a volunteer program with volunteers from all across the country. So that's YouSpark. Let me just go. What happened to there we go, the pyramid. So let me talk quickly about the Technology for Good, and let me just pull all of this up at once. We have a lot of resources. We give away about $300 million worth of software annually across the globe, and our most recent offering that we're very excited about is Office 365, which is our cloud solution, which we are donating completely free to any nonprofit on the planet. So I would encourage you, if you are a nonprofit or if you're a volunteer or working with a nonprofit, to reach out and look at our website where you can find Microsoft.com/nonprofit. You can read much more about how you can get onto Office 365. It's very simple. There are organizations in the room who have already been a part of that. The Robin Hood Foundation is here. WNYC Radio is about to adopt the Office 365 model. There are many others. We also give other software available through TechSoup. and through N10, and we encourage nonprofits to take advantage of these resources to improve productivity and effectiveness. I guess I would just say in closing that we really are about trying to strengthen communities and trying to improve the quality of life for the beneficiaries and for nonprofits and for the community overall. The community's success is our success, and we are delighted to be a part of a movement for a force for good using the resources that we have available in technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. That's a phenomenal presentation. I want to say that on top of everything that was just provided to everybody, so everybody's scribbling notes, ideas, and as I said, it'll be posted on our website. I am taken by the remarkable absence of techno-speak in all of your presentations. This is English, and it was really terrific. So I appreciate that. Maybe that's at my level of ignorance in this field, but I certainly appreciate each of you being so direct and so helpful.
Thank you very, very much. That was wonderful. I hope everyone learned a lot. Definitely appreciate all of your time again.